He worked me out so hard. I'm pretty sure my liver and my kidneys like started.
That was the hardest work.
Shut down
at the beginning. You literally go, Pitbull's gonna put me through the hardest workout I've ever gone through, and he did not disappoint.
I've gone through a lot of hard workouts before, and I've done a lot of hard work before, but I've never had my organs be like, "We're done." Like you can't, like stop. Like I literally felt like parts of the inside of my body like cramping and seizing and twitching, and like I felt sick, dude. Like I forgot how to think. Like I went full like zombie mode. But the thing was, I
caught it on camera.
I was motivated to perform because one, it was for a video, but two, because he told me, he's like, dude, I love working out with people that give 100% effort because that makes me 100% trainer. He's like, if you give 40% effort, you're going to get 40% trainer. He's like, when you push, I push. And he's like, when I see you doing stuff, I'm a holler, I'm gonna encourage, I'm gonna push you. He's like, and it was cool, man, because straight up, I mean, there was at one point where he was just yelling at me for like 3.5 minutes, just fucking yelling at me. But the whole time, I kept repping, I kept doing reps, like I kept fucking making it happen. It was crazy.
Yeah, and again, it was literally like you work out a lot, obviously, but like look like just him next to you literally makes you look like a little bitch.
This dude, so
he's a Geodude, man.
I want to say
he's a Machop.
I think he was saying,
or what's the Machamp? He's a fucking Machamp.
I want to say he said he started working out like in high school, and he's like 30 something now, so he's been working out pretty much nonstop. And he said he played football, like able-bodied football. He played able-bodied.
I never asked him what position he played. I assume he played defense because they told him to kill the man, which means get the guy with the ball.
Get the quarterback. Kill the
so,
man,
imagine imagine just a dude with no legs just fucking tackling you with your feet.
Just sweeping you.
Because that's the thing, is you dive at people and get their feet. He's already down there. And dude, if that guy was able-bodied, we were talking about, he's got to be like 6'5".
Well,
he's huge.
It was funny, Brent and I.
His hands are like literally twice the size of my hands.
You and me and Brent were joking around when we shot the video the next day, and I was like, Zach seems like the kind of guy that if he was able-bodied, he'd be in prison. And Brent goes, he'd probably be in prison right now.
Yeah, he goes,
he probably, even right now, he'd probably still be in prison.
I think I said that. I was like, I'm honestly surprised he's not in prison right now.
No, not jail, like prison. Like this dude's rowdy, man.
Yeah.
But all that to be said, got a heart of gold.
He cares, man.
Like he cares a lot. He's like
he's
a genuine dude, and
he gets a lot of hate.
He gets a lot of hate for his abilities, and he also gets a lot of hate because he doesn't have sympathy for people. He's like, fuck you and your sob story. I just need to know.
Everyone's got a sob story.
He's like, everybody's got a sob story. He's like, all I need to know is what your limitations are and what you want to do to make yourself better. Like, he's like, y'all talking all this shit. He's like, I want to know when you're going to roll your casters through my door and come into my gym so I can put you through a workout. He's like, that's what I want to know.
Yeah. Like, and I think also he got a lot of hate, I think, from like spinal cord injury community because like
it's not just that. It's so he is a disabled person who uses a wheelchair. He's an amputee who uses a wheelchair. So the first controversy is he doesn't use prosthetics and uses a wheelchair. Almost all amputees are anti-wheelchair and choose to use prosthetics if they can. So in the same way that like I can stand and walk a little bit, I use the wheelchair. He gets that same kind of hate.
Yes.
There's also
he's kind of like outcasted from the amputee community.
Yeah, and then
when he goes to the wheelchair community he's outcast from there.
It's outcast again. And the thing is, he was telling me, he's like,
because I think mainly bowel and bladder stuff. Honestly, like a lot of spinal cord injury people like deal with that, and they don't have any core. And he's got full core. He's got full bowel and bladder function, so he doesn't have to use catheters or any of that stuff. So they're like, this guy's a faker.
I don't know all that exactly, but that sounds possible. I mean, but also it's the fact that it's like or
like you don't know my struggle kind of thing. I don't know,
but it's also I think it's the like he was in the powerlifting, like adaptive athlete, like CrossFit world for like forever, and then he like moved his way over kind of like to like the wheelchair world, and people are like losing their shit because it's like, you don't represent us, and he's like, don't hit your thumb, hitting that unfollow button, like. It's very. What
was the world record that he beat? Was it for bench
press
as an amputee?
I don't know. I think it's bench press world record for his weight class, and so like.
Does that mean because he's so light, says he doesn't have legs?
I don't know. I don't know exactly.
He holds a world record for bench press somehow, and one of the things about bench press is you got to have your feet on the floor.
Well, they used to do that. The USA,
and because he doesn't have feet. they had to give him some like fake prosthetic. So like literally they janked up these little legs for him that were made out of like a thin pipe, like a thin
they
like metal pipe.
And they like taped him to his.
Oh shit!
He like taped him to his nubs.
They taped him to his nubs.
It doesn't hit the wires.
I think it was like barely any.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Have you ever seen the movie Robots? You know that movie Robots?
Yeah.
And you know how they got those tiny little they got those tiny little like skinny metal legs? It looked like that. Like his legs looked like these tiny little skinny legs, and it's the funniest looking thing. We'll have to find the picture somewhere or the video. We'll put it in there.
Yeah, it's
hilarious.
It's on his Instagram somewhere, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll find it, and AJ will put it in the podcast if you're watching the video. But anyways, that video is coming out on Saturday, and if you're a patron, it comes out on Friday.
And it was cool.
So be on the lookout.
It was cool as shit, man. Because like one of the things I love the most about the internet is, dude, I've been hanging out with Pitt, you know, on his page, in his DMs, in groups for like 2 years now. So when we met in person, it was like, hey man, nice to meet you. And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean nice to meet you? We know each other. Like just because it's the first time we met in real life doesn't mean we don't know each other. Same thing with Brent. Brent was like, nice to finally meet you. And I'm like, we have, like, we know each other, you know, like.
Yeah.
It was also, I felt the same thing with Kenny. When Kenny popped in, when Kenny was here, he was like, hey man, nice to meet you. I'm like, it doesn't feel like we're meeting for the first time.
Yeah.
It feels
You're
like
meeting in person.
It feels like we're old friends. It feels like we're homies. And yeah, it's really kind of interesting how that works out. But yeah, man, we hung out. It was so funny. We showed up as like 4 o'clock, and he's like in his driveway, like smoking a blunt. I'm like, man, we're about to do a workout video. And then he makes me like this huge, massive like shot of espresso. I take the espresso. We chat a little bit. He's like, all right, boy, let's get this working. And we both go through this like gnarly fucking workout.
Yeah.
Brent's there like just watching and laughing.
Yeah, dude. It was nuts.
We do like the interview, and then right after that, we jump in the podcast, do the podcast. Podcast is really cool.
Or just recapping the rest of the day. I think that was pretty much it, right? Because we talked about the podcast, and then when we left, like we said, when we left Pitt's house, it was literally just like, what the fuck? That was like the weirdest, craziest experience.
It was cool shit.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full episode, you can click right here. If you want to subscribe to the channel, you can click right here. If you want to watch more clips, we got 2 more right over here.